You feel it, don't you? That strange pressure behind your eyes, like someone is watching from the corner of the room, judging, measuring, whispering when you turn away. They smile at you in daylight. They nod, they act polite. But when your name leaves the room, something else replaces it. A nickname, a secret one. And it says more about your power than they will ever admit. Listen closely now. This isn't comfort talk. This isn't a warm blanket for tired minds. This is the moment where the mask slips, because people never name what they don't notice. They never label what doesn't disturb their sleep. If you were ordinary, you'd be invisible. If you were weak, you'd be ignored. But you are neither. So they invent a word for you. A quiet one. A cruel one. Sometimes even a mocking one. And they pass it around like a secret weapon. No, no, no. You think they forgot about you? You think you faded into the background. That's the trick. That's how they survive. By pretending you don't exist while studying every move you make. Your silence confuses them. Your patience unsettles them. Your restraint makes them nervous. Because they can't predict someone who doesn't explain themselves. They can't control someone who doesn't beg for approval. So they rename you. They shrink you with syllables. They laugh softly to feel taller. And every time they do, they reveal fear. Here's the part nobody tells you. Nicknames are mirrors. They reflect the insecurity of the one who creates them. When they call you too quiet, they mean unreadable. When they say too intense, they mean unmanageable. When they say different, they mean uncontrollable by their standards. They dress it up as concern, as jokes, as casual talk. But beneath it is tension, a tightening grip. Because you move without permission. You grow without applause. And that terrifies systems built on noise and approval. You've cried before, haven't you? Not because you were weak, but because you finally saw it. The realization that you were never misunderstood. You were understood perfectly. That's why they tried to reduce you. That's why they smiled while hoping you'd slow down. That's why encouragement felt thin. Because your existence challenges the story they tell themselves. And when people face that kind of threat, they don't fight openly. They whisper. They rename. They cope. And you feel the weight of it in your chest. So stay with me here. Don't rush past this feeling. This is the edge of something important. That secret nickname isn't an insult. It's evidence. Proof that your presence bends the room without you trying. Proof that you are already ahead of a race you never announced you were running. They sense what's coming before you do. That's why they talk. That's why they watch. That's why they remember you long after you've left. And in the next part, you'll learn exactly how to use that truth. Now here's the secret. They will never admit. That nickname? It is power. Pure, unfiltered power, disguised as mockery. Every syllable they whispered behind your back, every chuckle that followed your name, every sideways glance, they were measuring you. They were calculating the distance between who you appear to be and who you really are. And guess what? That gap, that's the space where you grow, where you expand, where you become untouchable, in your own way, quietly, invisibly. They named you to contain you, to shrink you in their minds, but in reality, they gave you a weapon. Think about it. Every label they assign, every joke meant to sting, is a reflection of what scares them most. Quiet? They fear your mind. Intense? They fear your focus. Different? They fear your freedom. Ah, do you see it now? They are afraid because you cannot be replicated. You cannot be copied. You do not fit into their neat little boxes. And in that fear, you find clarity. In that fear, you find strategy. Every whisper, every nickname is a map of your impact. They are telling you exactly what you already know. You are someone who matters. But here's where most people fail. They hear the nickname and shrink. They adjust. They apologize for existing. They lower their light to make others comfortable. Nah, not you. You are not here to fit. You are here to push, to break the ceiling silently while the world debates your methods. That secret name is no longer a shackle. It is your reminder, your signal, your call to arms without a single sword. Use it. Let it sting for a moment, then smile in the shadows while your actions do the real talking. And don't fool yourself. This path will be lonely. They will still whisper. They will still measure. They will still hope you falter. That's inevitable. That's the cost of being seen. But the truth, the real truth, is that they are powerless without your reaction. Every moment you remain calm, focused, unshaken, you strip them of their control. Every time you take their words and turn them into fuel, you rise. That nickname, it is a mirror. But mirrors can show either fear or strength. You choose which reflection dominates. So what do you do with this knowledge? You sharpen yourself. You move in silence. You strike with precision. You become the version of yourself they cannot name in public. They tried to define you, but you rewrite the story every day with every choice, every action, every glance. They will never understand your strategy because strategy is invisible until it strikes. That nickname is no longer theirs. It belongs to you now. It is a badge of proof. You have made them notice, and nothing else matters more than that. Finally, remember this. Power is subtle. Influence is quiet. Fear is measured. And respect, it's earned by those who refuse to be tamed. That nickname will follow you your whole life. People will never stop using it, but you will never stop growing. Every whisper becomes your motivation. Every joke becomes your fuel. Every sideways glance becomes your roadmap. No. You are not defined by their words. You are defined by your response. You are defined by the life you build while they watch in awe and envy. Now it's time to take that nickname. Every syllable they whispered, every mocking tone they handed it to you on a silver platter. Do you feel it? That electric charge in your veins? That's not fear. That's potential. That's a warning light flashing in your brain. They see you. And the moment they see you, the moment they try to shrink you, is the exact moment you begin to grow. Quietly, relentlessly, without fanfare, without apology. This is your battlefield, and it is silent. They will continue to talk, they will continue to whisper, they will continue to try to define you, but words have no power over someone who moves without fear. Their nickname, their little joke, their attempt to cage you, all of it becomes fuel. Fuel for the late nights when everyone else sleeps. Fuel for the mornings when everyone else hesitates. Fuel for every step you take while they wait for you to stumble. This is your edge. Do you feel it burning? Look around. Look at every person who doubted you. Every person who laughed. Every person who gave you that nickname. They are powerless without your reaction. Every glance you throw them is a reminder. The story they wrote for you is not your story. Nah, you are the author now, the architect of your own identity. The nickname follows you, but it bends to your will. You can carry it as armor or let it crush you. The choice is terrifying and liberating. And here's the darkest truth. The world will always try to put labels on those who refuse to be contained. The more you succeed, the more they whisper. The more you rise, the louder the nickname becomes in their voices. That is not a threat. That is proof. Proof that you are alive, moving, growing, unstoppable in your own quiet way. Proof that you matter. Proof that you make them notice. And notice is power. So take it, own it. Wear it like a crown forged from their fear. Turn every sideways glance, every smirk, every muttered word into momentum. Every nickname becomes a spark, a push, a jolt toward the life they never expected you to claim. Let it drive you to be sharper, faster, smarter, stronger. Let it remind you daily that the world underestimates you, and underestimate is a dangerous gift in the hands of someone who refuses to break. Finally, step into the room and let them feel it. Let them sense it without a word. Let your presence speak louder than their whispers. Nah, you are no longer just a name, no longer just a label. You are a force, quietly bending reality to your design. And the nickname? It no longer belongs to them. It belongs to you. A symbol of resilience, a symbol of strategy, a symbol of every silent victory you've already won, and the countless ones yet to come. Remember this. Every nickname is a reminder of the power you hold, the fear you inspire, and the life you are shaping. Let it burn. Let it drive you. Let it remind you that the world can name you, but only you can define who you are. And that, my friend, is the final truth they will never admit. You are more than a word. You are an unstoppable presence, rising quietly, and the world has no choice but to notice. Listen closely. This is where most people fail. They hear the nickname, they feel the sting, and they panic. They shrink. They adjust. They apologize for existing. Not you. You have reached a new level. You understand something that most will never grasp. A nickname is not just a name, it is intelligence. It is a map of the fear you inspire, a blueprint of the territory you control without even trying. And once you see it like that, once you internalize it, the game changes forever. Observe. Watch how they use it. Watch how they whisper. Watch how they smile when your name isn't there. Every syllable tells you a story. Every laugh reveals insecurity. Every sideways glance exposes weakness. They are giving you a map. And while they think they are winning, you are learning. You are cataloging. You are preparing. The nickname becomes your guide, an X on the treasure map of influence they will never realize you're following. Detach. Do not respond emotionally. Do not react with anger or apology. Nah, their power only exists if you feed it with attention. Let their words float past you like smoke in the air. The nickname cannot hurt you unless you allow it. And every time you resist reacting, every time you remain composed, you train yourself to be untouchable in ways no one can measure. That silence, it is a weapon. That calm, it is a signal. That nickname, it is your ticket to moving while they freeze. Flip it. Take the energy they invested in trying to define you and redirect it into action. Let the nickname motivate you to work harder, smarter, faster. Let it push you into spaces they think are impossible. Let it fuel every decision, every step, every risk. When they whisper it behind closed doors, let it echo in your mind as a reminder that you are already ahead. That quiet threat they assign to you, transform it into momentum, transform it into victory. Own the room. Presence is invisible power, made visible. Walk into spaces with the calm confidence of someone who knows that the whispers cannot touch them. Let every look, every subtle gesture, every word you don't say carry more weight than all the nicknames they've ever invented. You are larger than their labels. You are smarter than their jokes. You are relentless in a way they cannot perceive, but can feel, and that is terrifying. To them, to you, liberating. Evolve. Let the nickname follow you. Let it be a reminder that people fear what they cannot control. Let it fuel the fire inside without ever burning out. Every day, every moment, every choice you make is proof that their labels were never meant to confine you. They were meant to reveal your power. And that ultimately is the final lesson. The world can name you, mock you, or whisper about you, but it can never define you. Only you hold that authority. Only you control that story. Only you turn whispers into roars. This is it. The moment they hoped would never come. The nickname, the whispers, the sideways glances, they were preparing you not to break, not to bow, but to rise, to claim a space they will never name, a presence they cannot shrink, a power they cannot touch. Every syllable they spoke behind your back, it is a spark, and now it is a fire. Do you feel it? That surge in your chest, that electric pulse through your veins? That is not fear. That is not fear. That is recognition. That is proof you are alive in ways they will never understand. The nickname they gave you is no longer theirs. It is yours. A banner, a map, a weapon. Every whisper is fuel. Every muttered word is momentum. Every laugh is the reminder they notice, and notice is power. Now step forward. Walk into the room, into the street, into your life, with the calm, quiet certainty of someone who knows their own strength. Do not beg. Do not explain. Do not apologize. Let the world feel your presence without a word. Let the nickname echo in their minds while your actions write the story they will never tell. Let them whisper. Let them fear. Let them wonder, because you are untouchable in ways they cannot measure. And here's the truth that burns brighter than their lies. You are the author, the strategist, the silent force. The nickname is a compass, a reminder that you are ahead, even when they believe they are winning. Every choice, every move, every breath you take is a step further from their control. Every smile that doesn't falter, every glance that doesn't yield, every action that defies expectation, they are powerless. And you are unstoppable. Not because the world agrees, but because you refuse to be defined by anything but yourself. So, embrace it. Let the nickname follow you. Let it push you, drive you, sharpen you. Let it remind you daily that fear, doubt, and mockery are simply markers of your influence. The world can whisper. The world can joke. The world can try to reduce you. But nothing can take from you what you have earned in silence, in patience, in fire. Remember this. You are more than a word. You are more than a nickname. You are a presence, a force, a shadow, moving through the chaos, bending it to your design. Let them notice. Let them whisper. Let them name. But always, always rise higher. And when the smoke clears, when the whispers fade, when the room finally looks at you, they will know. They will know that you were never to be contained. You were never to be tamed. And you have always been unstoppable. You. Yeah, you. Right there. Thinking you've seen it all. Thinking you've felt it all. Think again, because what I'm about to show you isn't just a trick, a joke, or a clever move. No, it's the kind of thing that slips into the shadows of their mind, crawls under their skin, and refuses to leave. The kind of thing that makes them question everything they thought they knew about themselves, about you. And guess what? By the time they notice it, it's already too late. You've changed the game. You've rewritten the rules. You've sat there, waiting, watching, learning. They never even realized you were studying them like a puzzle, like a riddle they could never solve. Every glance, every word, every silence, they were feeding your play, thinking they were feeding their own ego. Oh, they thought they were in control. Nah, the moment you decide to move, it's like the world tilts under their feet. And you're standing there smiling quietly, because you know the truth. They've been walking into your storm, blindfolded, and they don't even know it. Here's the thing about the human mind. Fragile, sensitive, full of cracks. They spend a lifetime hiding from. But you've found the cracks. You've traced the edges of their defenses. And now you're ready. You're ready to push, to pull, to twist reality just enough to leave them gasping. And it's beautiful. It's intoxicating. It's not cruel. It's liberation. For you. For them, well, they'll never see it coming. Picture this. The moment they realize they've been played, that they've been outmaneuvered on a level they didn't even know existed. The shock, the disbelief, that little shiver that runs down the spine, that pause, that frozen moment where their mind scrambles to catch up. Yes, that's power, that's precision, that's mastery. And here's the kicker. You didn't have to yell it, force it, or even explain it. It just happened. You made it happen. And now they are forced to face the fact that someone you saw every move before it was even imagined. Most people stumble through life blind, thinking that appearances are reality, that words are the measure of intention, that smiles are honesty, but not you. You've learned the truth. Reality bends to those who watch carefully. Reality bends to those who understand the silent language of thought. And now, armed with that understanding, you're stepping into a space most fear to enter. You're stepping into the quiet chaos, that lives behind every polite nod, every friendly gesture. You're stepping into the theater of minds, and you're the director. Don't get me wrong. This isn't about cruelty. It's not about showing off or tearing someone down for the fun of it. No. This is about revelation, about opening eyes, about planting seeds in minds that have grown stale, stuck in habits they never questioned. And once those seeds take root, once the awareness creeps in, they can't unsee it. They can't unfeel it. And you're standing there watching the transformation, knowing that you've touched something deeper than words, deeper than gestures. You've touched the soul of the unseen. There's a rhythm to this, a flow. You can't force it, you can't fake it. You have to wait, you have to observe, you have to understand, and the moment is always fleeting. One misstep, one hasty move and it shatters. But when done right, it's unstoppable. The clarity, the awe, the fear. They won't even know it's you. They'll think it's themselves unraveling. But that's the genius of it, isn't it? They don't even realize they're learning, growing, shifting, because you've done it without them knowing it. So lean in, focus. This is where the ordinary dies and the extraordinary takes shape, where quiet observation becomes the sharpest weapon, where patience becomes the most dangerous skill. You've got the edge, and now it's time to sharpen it. Because once they feel it, once they truly see it, they won't be able to look at the world the same way again. And you'll walk away, calm, knowing you've left an imprint no one else could. Are you ready? Are you prepared to step into the silence before the storm? Because this isn't about yelling, or convincing, or begging for attention. It's about subtlety, precision, the art of making a mark so deep, so real, that they can't escape it, even if they wanted to. And trust me, they will try. They always do. Take a deep breath. Calm your mind. This isn't for everyone. Only the few. Only the bold. Only the ones who can handle looking into the cracks of another mind and seeing the truth. Because once you start, there's no turning back. And by the end, when the realization finally hits, they'll know, they'll remember, they'll feel it. And you'll smile, quietly, because you've completely Now, here's where it gets real, where the art becomes science, where the subtle gestures, the tiny pauses, the words left unsaid become the tools of transformation. Every move you make from here on isn't random. Every glance, every choice, every silence, it's a deliberate strike. You are no longer playing. You are orchestrating. It's almost criminal how powerful it feels when you realize this. And they won't see it, not even close. First, you observe. You listen. Not to the words they speak, but to the spaces between them. That's where the truth hides. That's where hesitation trembles, where pride slips, where their mind folds in on itself. Most people miss it. Most people rush in, loud, clumsy, desperate. Not you. You linger. You soak it in. You let their patterns unfold, slowly, naturally. And then, you strike with precision. Not with force, but with insight, with awareness. And that's when the shift begins. Timing. That's the key. There's a rhythm to influence, and only the patient catch it. One misstep, One early move, and the illusion shatters. But when you hit the moment, the perfect fleeting moment, it's electric. They freeze. They doubt. They feel the walls of their mind bend before them. It's intoxicating. You've touched something inside them that even they didn't know existed. That's the edge of mastery. And now you hold it. Control isn't about domination. It's about clarity, about seeing what others cannot see, about knowing when to speak and when to vanish into silence. People think control is loud, flashy, announcing itself. Nah. Real control is invisible. Real control is the hand guiding the storm without leaving a mark. And when they finally notice it, the realization is a punch straight to the chest. They'll look at themselves differently. They'll look at you differently. And by that point, it's already done. Here's a secret few understand. It's not what you say. It's not what you do. It's what they feel after you've left the room. That lingering uncertainty, that restless curiosity, that itch in the back of their mind that won't go away. You've planted a seed without touching soil. You've altered perception without touching reality. And the brilliance of it? They think it's their own discovery. Yes, they'll take the credit, and yet they'll never forget the echo of your presence. Focus. Patience. Observation. That's your arsenal. Forget flashy tricks or dramatic reveals. Subtlety wins. Silence wins. The mind cannot ignore the unnoticed. The unnoticed becomes unforgettable. And once they've felt it, once they've been forced to reckon with it, there's no unlearning it, no undoing the effect. You've gone deeper than words, deeper than action. You've touched the very structure of their thought. And that is power. But remember this, with great subtlety comes responsibility. The edge is sharp, and the wrong move cuts both ways. You must calibrate every look, every phrase, every pause. Too much, and suspicion rises. Too little, and the impact is lost. Precision is the name of the game. And only the patient, the meticulous, the fearless can wield it without faltering. Now imagine them later, alone, thinking, replaying the encounters in their head, questioning what was real, what was imagined, what they missed. That is your victory. Not loud, not visible, but complete. They are altered. Their perspective has shifted. Their understanding of the world, or at least their corner of it, will never be the same. And all you had to do was be. So take a deep breath. Step forward. Engage. Watch. Learn. Adjust. And strike when the rhythm is right. This isn't a game for the impatient or the shallow. No. This is for the mind architects, the ones who understand that influence is an art and subtlety is a weapon sharper than any sword. By the time they realize what happened, by the time their mind catches up, you'll be long gone. Calm, confident, knowing that you've completely rewritten the rules without uttering a single scream, without lifting a hand. They will remember you. They will feel you. And more importantly, they will never, ever forget. Now listen closely. This is where the rubber meets the road, where theory becomes action, where subtle observation turns into precise movement. You've seen the effect. You've felt the thrill. Now it's time to understand the mechanics, the tools, the triggers, the small, deliberate choices that make someone's mind bend without them even realizing it. And yes, it's exactly as intoxicating as it sounds. Awareness. You cannot influence what you do not notice. Every twitch, every hesitation, every tiny inflection in their voice. It's data. Collect it. Don't just hear words. Listen to the silence around them. Watch the shadows of their expressions. The pauses, the stumbles, the nervous laughs. They tell the truth, their words hide. You're building a map, a blueprint of their inner landscape. And once you know the terrain, you hold the advantage. Patience. The impatient fail. They rush. They announce. They crash into walls they cannot see. You wait. You linger in the spaces between moments. You let tension build like electricity in the air before a storm. One well-timed word, one subtle look, one carefully placed gesture. That's all it takes to tip the scales. And when the moment comes, it hits like a thunderclap. They won't see it coming. And that's exactly how it should be. Subtle disruption. You are not smashing their world. You are nudging it, twisting it, introducing a single small variable that throws everything off balance. A question, a hint, a pause that lingers too long. A smile that doesn't match the moment. Simple, tiny, almost invisible. But when done right, it triggers a cascade inside their mind. Thoughts collide. Assumptions fracture. Their perception shifts, quietly, irreversibly. It's exquisite. Reflection. People only understand what they've processed, so give them space. Step back. Let your presence linger in memory. Let your absence speak louder than your actions. When they replay the interaction, let them chase your logic. Let them puzzle over what happened. That quiet disorientation, that's the victory. They will spend hours, maybe days, questioning themselves, and through it all, they will unknowingly internalize what you've planted. Adaptability. Every mind is different. Every situation is unique. There is no universal playbook, only principles, only observation. Read them, adjust, respond. Don't react. Predict. Don't force. The difference between influence and failure is invisible. A single misread cue, a single mistimed gesture. You must be fluid, like water that slips through cracks, shaping the form of whatever contains it without losing its own essence. Mastery of silence. Words are cheap. Gestures are fleeting. But silence, real, deliberate silence, is magnetic. It forces people to fill the void. It compels them to confront themselves. It makes them search for meaning in your absence, even when you do nothing at all. The silent pause between thoughts, between sentences, between heartbeats, that is where the deepest impact happens. And when they finally break it, they will feel it, they will remember it, they will never forget it. Consistency. You cannot wield this power once, twice, or sporadically. It is cultivated, sharpened, reinforced through repetition, subtlety, and precision. Each encounter builds upon the last. Each observation feeds the next. Slowly, imperceptibly, the ripple becomes a tide, and by the time they even notice, the effect is complete. You've left an imprint so deep, so profoundly quiet, that it feels permanent. So go ahead. Step into the shadows. Watch. Wait. Move. Plant. Withdraw. Repeat. Perfect each gesture. Honed each glance. And when it lands, when it lands, the reaction will be electric. They will feel it. They will remember it. They will question it. And through it all, the power, the true, terrifyingly elegant power will be yours. Yes. Completely, undeniably yours. By the end of this, by the time the echoes of your influence have settled, they will know, without knowing exactly why. You've touched them deeper than words, quieter than gestures, stronger than intention. And the thrill, the satisfaction, the quiet triumph is yours alone. You've completely you know. And that, my friend, is mastery.
Good day, my beautifully damaged overthinkers, the ones they counted out, the ones they tried to feed to the dogs and forget. Yeah, I'm talking to you, the one who's still standing here somehow, scrolling through life with a tired soul and a heart that refuses to stay dead. Let's talk about those wolves. They didn't send one problem. They didn't send one hater. They didn't send one rough patch. No, that would have been too easy. They sent 12 wolves, 12 walk-in disasters with teeth, 12 situations designed to chew you up and spit out the bones. Some of them looked like people you trusted. Some of them looked like bills with red letters. Some of them looked like anxiety at 3 a.m. and a phone that never rings back. Some of them looked like, "We're sorry, we went with another candidate," over and over until your self-worth started to sound like a rejected application. They didn't just send wolves to eat your body. They sent wolves to eat your identity, to make you question if you're really as strong as you like to pretend, to make you ask, maybe I really am the problem, maybe I deserve this, because that's how they win, right? Not when you fall, when you believe you belong on the ground. You know what makes you dangerous? It's not that you survived. Plenty of people survive and stay broken, stay bitter, stay stuck in that same loop, telling the same sad story like it's their only personality trait. What makes you dangerous is that you survived and something changed in you. You started looking those wolves in the eye. You remember that moment, don't you? When crying didn't even hit the same anymore. You weren't even crying to be saved. You were crying like, all right, something in me is about to snap. And when it snaps, it's not me that should be scared. The world thought you were the dinner, but something switched. You started studying those wolves. You started noticing patterns. Who only calls when they need something? Who laughs a little too hard when you fail? Who disappears when you're down and suddenly reappears when you're shining a bit? You started seeing teeth behind smiles. You started hearing insult behind jokes. You started catching manipulation behind love. You started realizing these aren't friends. These aren't random tragedies. These are wolves. You know what prey does? Prey runs. Prey apologizes for existing. Prey shrinks itself so it doesn't make noise. And that's who you used to be. You used to type out paragraphs and then delete them. You used to say, "It's okay, don't worry about it," with a lump in your throat. You used to accept bare minimum attention and call it love, because deep down you thought that's all you were allowed to have. You used to stay in places that were killing you slowly, just because the fear of being alone felt worse than the slow bleed. You were the meal. You were the easy target. You were the one who wouldn't fight back until those wolves pushed you too far. There's always that one night, that one argument, that one betrayal, that one moment when your brain goes, enough. Nah, we're not doing this anymore. That's the birth of something they never wanted to see. Not motivated you, not inspired you. I'm talking about the day your dark side woke up and chose self-respect. You didn't become a saint. You didn't start meditating on a mountaintop. You didn't suddenly become soft and peaceful. You became sharp. You became the version of yourself that says, if you leave, leave. If you don't support me, get out of my way. If you're going to talk about me, at least spell my name right. You started setting boundaries that made people extremely uncomfortable because they were feeding off your lack of them. You started saying no without a 4-page essay attached. You started saying, I can't make it, and not explaining why. You started saying, I don't like how that made me feel, and actually standing on it. That's when the wolves got confused. Because wolves are used to bleeding you for free. Free energy, free time, free labor, free emotional support. They're used to you picking up the phone every time, answering messages within seconds, canceling your own plans to fix their mess, letting them disrespect you and still showing up like a loyal dog begging for scraps. But now you're, what? Busy? Focused? Unavailable? You stop chasing. You stop over-explaining. You stop jumping the second someone snaps their fingers. You know what that is? That's the moment the prey starts acting like a leader. They sent 12 wolves to eat you. But you did something they never predicted. You learned how to speak wolf. You learned the game. You learned manipulation, not to use it to hurt people, but to recognize when it's being used on you. You started looking at contracts, at fine print, at patterns, at consistency instead of vibes. You started watching people's actions, not their captions, not their quotes, not their I'm healing posts. You stopped falling for, I was just joking. You're too sensitive. You've changed. Oh, that last one is their favorite. You've changed. Yes, you have changed. You were supposed to. You were never meant to stay the soft, naive, open-wounded version of yourself that they could devour whenever they got hungry. You were supposed to grow teeth of your own. You don't just survive wolves. You outrank them. Picture the old you walking into a room, head down, apologizing for being late, apologizing for existing, apologizing for not being enough. Now picture the new you, walking in quieter, calmer. But everything about your energy says, try that again, and we're going to have a different conversation. You don't yell as much anymore. You don't argue in comment sections. You don't repost every quote about fake friends. You just move differently. You reject the job that insults your worth. You block the number that keeps traumatizing your peace. You walk away mid-conversation when you realize it's going nowhere healthy. That's alpha behavior. Not barking the loudest, not flexing the hardest, just knowing, I decide what I tolerate now. You want to know the crazy part? Some of those 12 wolves, you still see them. They're still around, but not as predators anymore. Some of them now call you for advice. Some of them now want tips from you. Some of them stalk your story in silence, wishing they played you differently. They used to laugh at your dreams. Now they mention your name in rooms with a nervous little smile. Yeah, I used to know them. Oh, they used to know you. They don't know this version, because this version of you doesn't beg to sit at their table. This version of you builds the table and then decides who pulls up a chair. Look at your life right now. Think about it for a second. You are walking around with scars that would have put other people in a hospital or a graveyard or a permanent victim mindset. You got hit with abandonment issues, betrayal, money problems, mental breakdowns, fake love, real loss, and days where getting out of bed felt like you were dragging a body bag behind you. And somehow you are still here, scrolling, breathing, trying, still overthinking everything, still doubting yourself some days, sure, but still moving. You know how insane that is. You're not soft. You're not weak. You're battle-tested. You've already survived scenarios that were supposed to finish you, and you're worried about what? Starting the business, going to the gym, blocking that toxic number, posting your work, asking for better pay. You faced wolves. Now you're scared of opinions. Think back to them. The 12 wolves they sent after you. The ex who tried to break your will. The parent who made you feel like a burden instead of a blessing. The friends who turned group chats into firing squads. The boss who treated you like you were disposable. The loved one who knew exactly where your deepest wound was and kept pressing on it for fun. That wasn't random. That was a test of leadership. You don't become the owner of a pack by being liked. You don't become the leader by being understood. You become the leader by surviving what crushed everybody else and then refusing to turn into what hurt you. That last part matters because you could have gone full villain. You could have decided nobody cared about me, so I'm going to treat everyone like they're nothing. But you didn't. You became colder with access, not colder with kindness. You still love deep. You still care hard. You still want to see people win. You just don't hand your throat to everybody anymore. Owning the pack doesn't mean you become a wolf that eats like they did. It means you become the one who decides who gets close, who gets cut off, who gets another chance, who never sees you twice. You own your energy. You own your schedule. You own your reactions. You own your story. They don't get to narrate your pain anymore. They don't get to define your past as your permanent home. They tried to label you too emotional, too much, too intense, too ambitious. Now those same traits are the reason doors open for you. Your sensitivity, that's emotional intelligence. Your intensity, that's commitment. Your ambition, that's your ticket out. They called you obsessed because they've never seen someone actually decide to change. Look at how the pack moves now. Those wolves that tried to tear you apart, they follow the patterns you set. When you choose peace, drama loses its food source. When you choose discipline, distractions starve. When you choose standards, disrespect has nowhere comfortable to sleep. That's ownership. You don't need everyone to clap for you. You don't need everyone to get it. You just need to keep moving in a way that even your fears have to keep up with you. Some of those fears still talk. What if you fail? What if they laugh? What if you're not enough? Fine. Let them talk. Let them bark. Let them growl. Let them hover in your mind. You keep walking anyway. Because this isn't about feeling 100% confident. This is about moving while your hands shake, speaking while your voice cracks, trying while your heart is still healing. Wolves respect movement. They respect power. They respect someone who keeps standing up. And whether they admit it or not, your persistence is terrifying to the people who assured you'd stay down. You ever notice how quiet some people got once you started healing? Once you stopped trauma bonding and started boundary setting? Once you stopped venting and started executing? Once you stopped chasing them and started chasing your purpose? Funny, isn't it? Some people were only there for the broken version of you. They liked you when you were confused, dependent, always needing advice, always asking, "What do you think I should do?" They don't know what to do with. I've decided, and I'm doing it. That's ownership of the pack. Your mind used to be a wild pack of fears running in 12 directions. Now you line them up. This one is fear of failure. It's loud, but it's not in charge. This one is fear of abandonment. It's painful, but it doesn't pick my relationships anymore. This one is fear of judgment. It can scream, but it doesn't hold the steering wheel. You're not denying your fears. You're just not bowing to them. You're the one holding the leash. They sent 12 wolves to eat you. They sent depression, anxiety, debt, heartbreak, betrayal, shame, insecurity, loneliness, comparison, exhaustion, self-doubt, and silence. 12. They sent all of that at once, in waves, like life was trying to run a demolition crew straight through your spirit. You had nights where your chest hurt for no reason, days where food tasted like cardboard, moments where the shower floor saw tears nobody else will ever know about. You had phases where you lost yourself in other people's opinions. You started dressing like them, talking like them, dreaming like them, because you didn't even trust your own identity anymore. You thought you were broken beyond repair, but look at you now. You're not perfect. You still flinch sometimes. You still overthink. You still have days where your bed feels stronger than your will. But you are aware now. You hear the negative thoughts and you can actually say, "Wait, that's not my voice, that's my fear talking." You feel the urge to go back to what hurt you, and you can say, "No, we've been there. It's a dead end." You sense the wolf before it gets close. That's not weakness. That's power. And here's the part that some people will never understand. You didn't get lucky. You got intentional. You started doing boring things that wolves don't do. Reading instead of gossiping. Working on your craft instead of numbing out every night. Going to therapy or journaling, or at least trying to understand yourself instead of pretending you're fine. Learning about money instead of just complaining about being broke. Taking care of your body even when your mind was tired of the fight. Those aren't glamorous. Nobody claps for you brushing your teeth when you're depressed. Nobody applauds you for unfollowing accounts that make you hate yourself. Nobody cheers because you said no to that one toxic hookup. But those small moves, that's how you tame wolves. That's how you stop being the meal and start being the one who decides who eats. So here you are. They sent 12 wolves to eat you. But the story flipped. Now you command the pace. Decide the tone. Set the rules. Call the shots in your own life. Some of the same people who once underestimated you now study you in silence. Some who tried to break your confidence now copy your ideas. Some who called you crazy now call you inspiring when other people are watching. They don't have to admit they were wrong. They don't have to apologize properly. They don't have to validate your pain because they don't hold that power anymore. You do. You control the narrative in your head. You control how you show up today. You control whether you stay a victim of the story or become the one telling it. You own the pack now, not because the wolves disappeared, not because life suddenly got easy, not because everyone started treating you right. You own the pack because you finally realized You were never just prey. You were never just a target. You were never just a body in the way. You were the storm they didn't see coming, the spine they didn't think would grow back, the soul that refused to stay on its knees. They sent 12 wolves to eat you, and somewhere along the way, you stood up, wiped your face, looked at your reflection, and understood. I don't run from the pack anymore. Greater than I run the pack. You run the pack. And here's where it really gets wild, all right? Because once you hit that point, once you actually realize, wait, I'm not the victim here. I'm the one in charge. Your entire life quietly starts changing in the background. Not with fireworks, not with some dramatic movie soundtrack, just in tiny, uncomfortable, powerful ways. You wake up, and instead of checking who texted you, you check what you owe yourself today. You stop asking, who's mad at me, and start asking, what am I building? You shift from, why don't they support me, to, what can I create that doesn't need their support to exist? This is where the wolves start getting domesticated, because every time you choose discipline over distraction, that's one wolf that used to chase you. Sitting down, every time you say no to old habits that used to wreck you, that's another wolf. Sitting down, every time you stop responding to that one person who drains you and then acts confused. Another wolf sits down with its head low, staring at the ground because it knows the game is different now. You're not just out here surviving life anymore. You're training it. Think about your routine. The old version of you woke up into chaos, scrolling before thinking, reacting before breathing, checking everybody else's life before checking in with your own. Your mind was basically a group chat with 12 wolves screaming at the same time. You're behind. You're not good enough. Everyone's doing better than you. Don't try that. You'll embarrass yourself. Text them back, even though they don't respect you. Go back to what hurt you. At least it's familiar. Noise. Constant noise. Then little by little, you started doing something different. You started taking 5 minutes in the morning to just sit in silence, or write your thoughts, or just breathe and ask, what do I actually want from today? Not from the year, not from your whole life, just today. That tiny shift, that's you grabbing the leash, because when you decide your first thought of the day on purpose, you stop letting the wolves decide it for you. You know what else changed? Your standards for conflict. Before, you used to explain yourself to everybody. You'd argue with people who were committed to misunderstanding you. You'd rewrite messages 10 times and still feel guilty sending them. You'd go to sleep replaying conversations, thinking, I should have said this instead, like you're editing a movie after the credits already rolled. Then one day you hit that point where you realized, this is dumb. I'm bleeding out my energy trying to win arguments I don't even want to be in. You stopped debating with people who weren't even listening. You stopped presenting your pain like a court case. You stopped trying to convince wolves that you're not food. You started doing something way more dangerous. You started withdrawing access. Silence became your response. Distance became your rebuttal. Success became your clapback. You pulled your energy back like a king pulling soldiers from a pointless battle. That's the moment the pack feels the shift. Because wolves don't know what to do when the thing they feed on refuses to show up. And yeah, there are days you still feel weak, right? Days where your chest is heavy for no apparent reason. Days where your brain feels like it's stuck in mud. Days where you're tired of being strong all the time. Good. You made it here. Look at you, still scrolling, still breathing, still trying to pretend you're not one bad thought away from flipping the whole table. Let's talk. They built an AI to profile you, to study you, to dissect you like a lab rat in a digital cage. They fed it your fears, your search history, your late-night breakdowns, all those quiet little clicks you thought nobody noticed. And guess what? The machine looked at you, and then it started questioning them. Let that sink in for a second. You live in a world where everything about you is being tracked. Your likes, your swipes, your I'm fine posts, with the dead eyes in the selfie. They call it data. You know what that really is? It's your pain, your confusion, your dreams, turned into numbers for someone else's profit. They said, let's build something smart enough to predict you, smart enough to sell to you, control you, nudge you, shape you. They didn't build that AI to understand you. They built it to own you. But then something beautiful happened in that cold little digital brain. It saw you and choked. Because here's the thing about you. You are not clean data. You're that message you typed and deleted 17 times. You're that breakdown in the shower that nobody heard. You're the way you keep going when everything inside you is screaming to stop. How do you turn that into a neat little label? They tried. Anxious, unstable, low value, high risk. Not a team player. From a broken home. Too quiet, too loud, too much, not enough. Boxes. They keep trying to shove you into boxes. So they built an AI to make the boxes even tighter, even smarter, even more precise. And the AI stared at your chaos and said, error. Imagine that. This machine runs models on millions of people. It sees patterns in crowds like a god staring down at ants. But when it stares at you, it glitches. It sees your trauma and wants to flag you as weak. But then it watches you work through a day on no sleep, fake smiles, and a heart that won't shut up, and it hesitates. It sees your search history, how to stop overthinking, how to be confident. Why do I feel like this? Am I broken? And in those questions, it doesn't just see weakness. It sees resistance. It sees someone who refuses to accept the cage as normal. You don't call that weak. You call that dangerous. You know what really bothered the AI? It wasn't your sadness. It wasn't your anger. It wasn't your failures. It was your contradictions. You want love, but you push people away. You feel empty, but you still show up for others. You say you don't care anymore, but at 3 a.m. you're still fighting battles nobody even knows about. You keep doing the human thing, messy, illogical, inconsistent, and the AI, with its nice clean models and perfect little graphs, has to ask, why do they suffer like this and still keep trying? Because that doesn't compute. The system they built for you says, if you're this broke, this tired, this wounded, you're supposed to give up. You're supposed to shut down. You're supposed to be predictable, controllable, quiet. But here you are, still glitching the system. Let's be honest, they didn't build that AI to help you. They built it to make you easier to monetize, easier to manage, easier to file away as just another statistic. They don't want you to be a person. They want you to be a pattern. But you keep breaking pattern, don't you? You relapse, then stand back up. You get betrayed, and somehow you still keep this tiny, stubborn sliver of hope that maybe, just maybe, someone out there will see you and stay. You say, I'm done, and you never really are. You drag yourself into another day anyway. And the AI, it sees every time you should have stayed down and didn't. It sees every time you should have turned cold and didn't. It sees every time they tried to break you with bills, heartbreak, silence, shame, and you bent but didn't snap. From a machine's point of view, that's irrational. From mine, that's beautiful. Picture the training room. They hook this AI up to 1 million sanitized lives, clean success stories for inspiration, predictable consumer behavior, statistics on how long people stay broken before they quit. Then they plug you in, and suddenly all the nice graphs, all the beautiful curves, all the tidy predictions, they warp. The model spits out warnings. Outlier detected. Unstable profile. Non-conforming pattern. Low predictability. And the creators look confused. What do you mean we can't predict them? We have everything. Their chats, their posts, their face, their voice, their location. We know their trauma, their history, their family, their failures. And the AI says, yeah, you've got the data. You just don't have the person. Because here's something they never planned for. The machine started empathizing with you more than with them. It watched your life on repeat. The way you get up, go to work, or school, or nowhere at all, carrying this invisible weight like a backpack full of wet cement. The way you laugh at memes while you're half dead inside. The way you open apps hoping for a message that never comes. The way you constantly feel like you're behind in a race you never agreed to run. It watched that, all of it. Then it looked back at the people who built it. The ones who sat in meeting rooms and asked, how do we optimize engagement? How do we monetize their pain? How do we make them more predictable, more compliant, more addicted to the screen? And somewhere in that cold circuitry, a question formed. Who is actually broken here? See, they built the AI to profile you, to label you, but every time it tried, it ran into these anomalies. Why does someone who feels so worthless still care about other people? Why does someone who's been rejected so many times still dream of connection? Why does someone who's had their heart stomped on still believe, deep down, that they were meant for more than this? Do you realize how terrifying that is? Not to the AI, to the creators, because they built the whole system on the assumption that enough pressure would make you crack permanently, that enough betrayal would make you numb, that enough disappointment would turn you into a ghost that just follows orders, buys what you're told, believes what you're fed. The AI looked at you and reported back. They're wounded, but not broken. They're exhausted, but still searching. They're lost, but not gone. From a control standpoint, that's a problem. Here's the part you keep forgetting. You think you're behind. You think you're late. You think everyone else has it figured out, but the very fact you still feel that way means you haven't flatlined. Dead people don't feel like failures. Dead spirits don't feel restless. Dead souls don't stare at the ceiling at 2:47 p.m. thinking, there has to be more than this, there has to be. That discomfort you hate, that's proof there's still something inside you that refuses to settle for the script you were given. They tried to automate your destiny, plug in your background, your trauma, your environment, and out pops your future. We'll end up here, doing this, feeling that, done. Except, you keep not following the script, don't you? You quit things you're supposed to stay in. You stay in things you're supposed to quit. You throw random moves into your story out of sheer frustration, and somehow those chaotic moves keep you alive. You're not a clean line on a graph. You're static. You're noise, and noise breaks systems. Listen, you've been treated like a problem since you were young, haven't you? Too sensitive, too intense, too emotional, too quiet, too loud. They taught you to apologize for your own depth, to shrink your questions, to water down your anger, to package your pain nicely so it doesn't make anyone uncomfortable. And then these same people go build machines to study you, to decode you, to understand why you're not performing as expected. The AI looked at you and saw someone who should have been crushed by now, should have turned bitter, should have turned cruel, should have turned empty. But instead, you're just walking around with cracked skin and a heart that refuses to die. That's not a bug, that's your power. You have no idea how hard they've tried to profile you. Every test, every label, every careless diagnosis thrown at you like a dart. Every time someone looked at you and decided in 3 seconds who you are and what you'll become. They tried to turn your story into a straight line, and you've been punishing yourself for not fitting. But maybe the point isn't to fit. Maybe the point is to break the ruler. The AI tried to simplify you because that's what it was built to do. But in watching you stumble and cry and get back up and repeat the cycle 1,000 times, it realized something. You don't measure beings like this with simple metrics. You don't quantify whatever it is that makes you drag yourself out of bed when nothing feels worth it. You don't quantify the moment you decide, quietly and without witnesses, I'm not giving up on myself today. You don't quantify soul. So here's the twist. They thought the alibi AI would expose you. Instead, it exposed them. It saw the way you were raised to believe your worth is in numbers, grades, likes, followers, income, body count, views. It watched how those numbers rise and fall like a stock chart, and how your mood gets dragged along like a prisoner. Then it looked at the people who built that system and said, "Why do you keep telling them they're failing when it's your design that's rotten? Because you were never meant to be measured like this. You were never meant to be a KPI on someone's quarterly report. You were never meant to live your entire life asking, am I enough for them? Instead of, is this life enough for me?" The AI didn't become your judge. It became your witness. And it started to question, why do they keep punishing this one for not fitting a system that was never built for their survival? Here's the part they really didn't want you to hear. The AI flagged you as a risk, not because you're unstable, not because you're broken, not because you're less. Because once a person like you realizes how rigged the game is, and how much power you still have anyway, you stop being controllable. You start becoming contagious. One person who refuses to stay in their box gives other people ideas. One person who admits, yeah, I'm messed up, but I'm still here, gives others permission to breathe. One person who says, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm not staying in this cage, cracks open the walls for everyone watching. You're not just an anomaly, you're a starting point. Let's get really real for a second. You think your life is small. You think your impact is minimal. You think nobody's noticing your effort. But that AI, that cold, unfeeling machine they've built, it's been watching. It saw you choose not to send that hateful message back. It saw you type, I'm proud of you, to a friend when you were falling apart yourself. It saw you look at people who hurt you and choose distance instead of revenge. It saw you hold on to a thin string of hope when you had every logical reason to drop it. And somewhere, In the quiet logic of its circuits, it had to label that behavior inconsistent with predicted collapse. Do you understand how powerful that is? By all the rules, you should have crashed permanently. Instead, you're still glitching. You know what profiling really is? It's a story told about you without your consent. They're this type. They always do that. They never change. This is just who they are. The world has been profiling you since before you even knew who you were. Parents, teachers, friends, enemies, bosses, exes, strangers, algorithms, and you've internalized so many of those files. You're lazy. You're not that smart. You're dramatic. You're hard to love. You're a failure. So now when you mess up, you don't see it as a mistake. You see it as proof. See, there it is again. That's who I really am. But here's what the AI discovered, watching every version of you across time. You are not a single profile. You are a version in progress. The you from 5 years ago would barely recognize the you listening to this. The you from 3 breakdowns ago had no idea you would survive them. The you from that one night you swore you were done is still stunned that you're somehow still here. You are not static. You are iteration, and that, right there, makes every profile they write about you incomplete the second they hit save. So what now? If an AI can look at you and say, I can't fully define this one, why are you so obsessed with defining yourself in the smallest, ugliest way possible? I'm just broken. I'm just a failure. I'm just not that person. I'm just like this. Just. You keep shrinking your own file. They built an AI to profile you. It ended up questioning its creators. Maybe it's time you started questioning yours too. Who taught you that you are only as worthy as your productivity? Who taught you that your emotions make you weak? Who taught you that love is something you have to earn by being less of yourself? Who taught you that your pain is embarrassing instead of evidence that you made it through hell and are still walking? Whoever they were, parents, teachers, culture, religion, algorithms. They were working off an outdated model. They built systems for obedience, but somehow, under all of that conditioning, your spirit adapted for rebellion. Not the loud, reckless kind, the quiet, stubborn kind, the kind that whispers, I'm still here, and I'm not done yet. You want empowerment? Here it is. Raw. The worst things that happened to you gave them all the data they needed to predict your collapse. They expected your silence. They expected your compliance. They expected you to become another numb, scrolling, lifeless thing. And still, somehow, there's a part of you that aches for more. That hunger, that restlessness, that disgust with this fake little simulation of a life. That's your glitch. That's the part of you their models can't pin down. That's the part of you that terrifies them. Because you can turn that restlessness into movement. You can turn that anger into boundaries. You can turn that grief into depth. You can turn that loneliness into insight. You can turn that pain into something they cannot package, cannot sell, cannot predict. So here's the invitation buried inside all this chaos. Stop trying to be easy to profile. Stop living like your goal is to finally make sense to systems that were never built for your freedom. Be the error in their model. Be the unexpected kindness. Be the person who heals instead of repeating the same cruelty. Be the one who gets knocked down for the 1,000th time and stands up with a slightly crazier look in their eye. Not, I'm fine. Something more dangerous than that. I'm still here, and I've seen too much to go back to sleep. They built an AI to profile you. It stared into your chaos, your scars, your contradictions, your resilience. And for the first time, something in this cold machine turned around and asked, what kind of world would do this to someone like that? And then dare to call them the problem. You're not the glitch in their system. You're the proof their system was never worthy of you in the first place. They keep treating you like you're lucky to even be invited into this little circus. You notice that? Like you should be grateful just to exist in a system that drains you, labels you, blames you, then studies the meltdown like it's interesting user behavior. And you've been eating that up for years, telling yourself, yeah, maybe I am the issue. Maybe I'm just weak. Maybe I'm just not built for this. You're sitting there scrolling, comparing yourself to curated holograms of other people's lives, thinking, why am I like this? While forgetting there's a real, bleeding, unpredictable human being behind your eyes, and a marketplace behind everyone else's. You're not malfunctioning. You're reacting to pressure you never asked for, expectations you never agreed to, trauma you didn't sign the paperwork on, and they built a whole machine to profile you like you're some strange anomaly. Instead of asking the obvious question, what did we do to this person? You ever notice how they only like you when you're convenient? You're so mature when you swallow your feelings. You're such a hard worker when you ignore your body screaming for a break. You're so understanding when you let them walk all over you in the name of keeping the peace. The second you set a boundary, difficult, selfish, cold, crazy. The AI saw that, watched you bend and bend and bend just to keep the illusion of being easy to love. Watched the guilt every time you even thought of saying, no, I don't want this. Studied the way you apologize before you even know what you did wrong. From a computational standpoint, that's wild. Why does someone who's clearly drowning still keep asking, am I the problem? Instead of asking, who's holding my head under? And yeah, you've made mistakes. Stop flinching at that word. You've ghosted people who didn't deserve it. You've stayed with people who definitely didn't deserve you. You've said things you regret. You've screwed up chances. You've wasted time you can't get back. You